Hello everyone. In the last video we talked about table space monitoring and how to handle it. Today we'll talk about archive log location and the alerts related to archive log and how to handle them. So your archive log location space must be monitored. Otherwise, if it gets 100% full, so no operation can be performed on your database, and it'll be an outage for your application. So there must be a monitoring for your archive log location, and you should get an alert, and you should act on them promptly. So let's first look at the archive log location configuration, how it is configured in database, and how to find out. So the first thing is, easiest way is you can execute a command called archive log list. So as you can see, it is saying use a DB recovery file destination. That is my archive destination. That means it is using a DB recovery. And another command is show parameter log archive destination. So here destination states were 31 archive destination, and destination state is all enabled, but destination, if you look at destination, it's not set. Destination 1 is not set to anything. So if your log archive destination is not set to any specific location, so it will use by default it will use DB recovery file destination, which is for FRA, fast recovery area. If your FRA is enabled, FRA, if you want to check whether FRA enabled or not, parameter DB recovery. So as you can see, my DB recovery file destination is set to U02 fast recovery area, and 8 GB is allocated for FRA. So that means my archive files are coming when my redo log files are archived, it will come to this location. So if you go to this location, U02 fast recovery area, and then we'll see CD19 archive log. So this is the FRA folder structure. So in your DB recovery file test, it will just give you the base location, and then you have to go to your DB unique name and then archive log. So as you can see, this is today's date. Just go to so archives are not there. So let's see. So generate one archive on okay, let's generate 2 archive logs, and let's go to this FRA location, and you can see those 2 archive files, sequence 21 and sequence 22, are generated in the FRA location. That's because there is no archive locations specific location is set, and by default it is using the DB recovery fast recovery area. So if you get an alert, so how to get an alert? So DB recovery, as I showed you, DB recovery location size is set to 8 GB. So if 8 GB, and so if it reaches certain threshold of this 8 GB, let's say you have set for 90%, and 90%, let's say 7 GB, for example, let's say if it crosses 7 GB, then it will get an alert. So it is not based on how much space you have available in this U0/U02 mount point or drive. It is calculated based on how much space you've allocated for the FRA, if it is using a FRA for archive location. So if you get an alert, so one way to fix is, you can immediately, if you need an immediate solution and your archive log is filling very fast and you don't have time, you can just increase, if you increase to 8 GB to higher value, if you have space available on this mount point. So you can just, like, this is a dynamic parameter, so you don't need to restart your database. You can immediately change so you can just immediately increase this FRA DB recovery destination size to, let's say, from 8 GB to 10 GB or higher value, and so you'll have some time to clean up your archive log files, and your archive log location will have more space to grow. So this is quick way, and other way is really go and clear your archive log location by backing up your archive log and deleting those archive logs. That I'll show you after a short while. So so this is FRA, but then you can also, so at this point my database using FRA as the location, but you can explicitly specify an archive location. For example, I don't want to use FRA, so I will use I'll use this arc location, user to arc. So I can say, I can change the location. For example, let's say your FRA is full and you don't have space to grow, and immediately you need your archive space is filling very fast, and so another way of fixing it is you can change the archive location to another mount point or another drive where you have enough space. So that you can do using this alter system. It is also dynamic parameter. So Oracle will remember where you have the archive location and where you have changed it to, and it will, during backup and restore, recovery, it will remember all those locations. It will manage and maintain appropriately. So you don't have to worry about remembering where your archive locations are changed and changed back, all other things. So now my archive is now user arc2. Let's look at archive log list. As you can see, it has changed now to user to arc, and if you look at destination 1 is now, it was blank before, so it was by default using FRA fast recovery area. Now I have explicitly set to user to arc, so you can see it here. Another way of looking at this, checking the destination is there's one view called archive DESC. I will provide all this in the description, all these queries. Archive VDL or archive DESC. You can also find out the destination. So it will give you all the destination 30, 31, 32, all are inactive. Only destination 1 is user to arc. So if in the earlier case where destination was not set to anything, you'll see blank here because it was using by default FRA. Now let's do a quick check also. Let's generate 2 files and see. So you can see these 2 files is generated now here. Instead of the fast recovery area, now it has been generated here. Now if you, when your archive location is set explicitly to a directory, not the fast recovery area, the space usage will be calculated based on how much mount points, how much space is available in the mount points. For example, we need to check how much space is available in user 2. So now my user 2 total uses 20 GB and 29% is used. So when this use percentage goes beyond a threshold, let's say 85%, 95%, 90%, whatever you have set, they will get an alert. It is not like a fast recovery area where your mount point has a different available space, and you are allocating uh, smaller space to the fast recovery area destination. So and the alert will receive based on how much space we have allocated for FRA. But here, if you explicitly set to a directory, not FRA, then you'll get an alert based on how much space is used in for that mount points. If it goes 85 and whatever threshold you have set, you'll get an alert. So when you get an alert for this, the one way is you can change this to you can change the archive location to different mount points if you have space. These are quick ways. Or ideally, the first step that you should do is you should back up the archive logs and delete those archive logs. For that, you can use rman. So let's say I'm logged into rman now. One way is you can say backup archive log sysdate -1 delete input. You have to keep archive logs for a few days, like 2 days, 3 days, or 7 days, depending on business requirement, and then remaining older than that you want to delete. And ideally you should already have a script which you can schedule through cron job or OEM or any other tool to take these archive logs back up periodically and delete them in case for some reason that is not working because there are a lot of video generation happening or the script is broken. Then you can do this manually, just a quick fix. Let's look at this. Okay, this is the rman command. It's using 2 channels, and so there are some sequence 11, 12, 13, 14 is going to one channel, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is going to another channels. So it is just backing up archive files which are older than 1 day. So basically, when you get an alert, first thing you should do is you should back them up using rman command, and then back them up to a backup directory which should be in a different mount points, and then delete those archive logs. And if you can back up everything, and you don't need all the any archive to be there, you can run, instead of until time, you can execute one backup archive log all delete input. So it will back up everything, all the archive logs to different mount points. Hopefully your backup is going to a different mount points which has enough space, and then delete input. Because this backup will take some time to run, if you don't have that much of time and all, you can do is change the archive location as I showed you earlier. Change the archive location to another mount point where we have space. Or sometimes people, they don't want to change. Sometimes people manually just OS command, CP command, they just manually copy some backup and move to a different directory. Let's say you have another directory where you have space, but you don't want to change your archive location to that location. You can manually just move this archive there for temporarily, and once you have enough space available in the archive location, you can bring them back, just to quickly create some space and buy some time. Those are drastic steps solution. I mean, that should not be your first fix. First, you should be to try to back up your archive logs and delete those archive logs. And ideally, you should already have a script for that schedule, which you should be doing periodically for you. If not, you should do it. You should set up one archive cleanup, backup and cleanup script. Just one thing I want to tell you: if for example, I showed you, if your archive location is not set, by default it will go to first recovery area. If its first recovery area is enabled, let's say your FR is also not enabled, or there is some problem with your the directory you have specified. Let's say the directory doesn't exist, or there is a typo in your name. So Oracle will by default, next default location for Oracle is the Oracle Home DBS. For example, show parameter. So this destination is set to user to arc, and I showed you how you can if I remove this location value, then it will use a fast recovery area as I showed you in the beginning. So let's try that. To remove that archive destination parameter, you have to do a reset of the parameter, this one. But just remember, this log archive destination, when you are setting to a different location, it is a dynamic parameter, but you are resetting it. If you do scope both, it works, but the command works, but you will not see the desired result. So you have to do a spfile and restart it, instance restart. So I'm resetting org like destination 1, and let me restart the instance. So my instance is restarted. Let's look at what are the parameters now. See, my destination 1 is now not set, and archive log list, you see, it is set to DB recovery by default. And if you use the query from archive log destination, so this is also here, you'll see log archive destination 1 is used recovery file destination. Now, so Oracle is using this because my FRA is set. So my DB recovery is set to this. What happens if I set file destination I'll set to null? So my FRA, I'll disable the FRA. So disable the FRA, you just have to alter system destination blank scope both. This is also dynamic parameter. These both are dynamic parameter. So let's check the DB recovery place now. So now string is set to null. Now let's see what is my archive location, archive log list. See, now it is changed to user and app Oracle. This is my Oracle home /dbs/arc. Now my if I let's check the query that I have. What happens with this query now? Because log archive destination parameter will be null anyway. So this is also set to Oracle home DBS. So if you have not set any archive location and your FR is not set, then by default the next default location for Oracle is to go to Oracle home DBS. This arc is just a prefix. So if I do just do a show parameter log archive destination, so destination is not set to anything. Now if I do let's see where the files are going. Okay, so as you can see, 25 and 26 are generated here and with the arc prefix. So that's what I wanted to show you. And there are few other queries like archive destination status. It will tell you whether any archive, if you have a problem with any archive destination and some problem with archive generation, you can check this to see is there any problem with any destination. This is the list of all the logs with this destination name will have a path and directory path and file name and what is the sequence number and when it was completed, and so there are a few useful queries I'll update in the description for you to take a look at. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot. Hope you learned something. Bye bye.